Today, I will be talking about how we can use out keyword instead, how we can replace the out keyword with a func delegate. So basically, there might be a scenario wherein you have a function which has an out parameter, and what you want to do is like that. Function has some built-in logic and it returns a value in the out parameter. You don't want that function to behave you don't want that function to return a result to you, but you are using an out keyword. So there might be some use cases in your projects which you will have, but a more sometimes a more standard way or a standard way or of doing it or um, is using by using a func delegate, because in some scenarios if you have you just want to return the control to the calling function. So in that, in order to set a variable or set the value of a variable, you can use the func delegate. What actually I'm trying to say is uh, let me just uh, let me just open the Visual Studio and just you see here that I have a function which accepts number, and it has a parameter of out result, and it checks that the number is even or odd. So if it is an even number, it will set the result to true, and the result will be assigned to the this argument, which you can access in the calling function. So it's pretty basic um, scenario, but like how we can actually use a func delegate instead of using an out, we will discuss today in this topic. So let's have a brief overview what actually an out keyword is. The out keyword is actually used as a parameter modifier which lets you pass an argument to a method by a reference rather than by a value. So I have an example here where with this example takes has takes an argument with an takes an argument with which it's actually an out parameter. So the function computes any value, and the result is returned in the out parameter. So this is a pretty basic example. This is a pretty basic example of an out keyword, how it's used in C sharp. So next, like number two, if we define a out keyword, it's also a generic type parameter declaration for interfaces and delegates, which specifies that a type parameter is covariant. So actually, this I will not discuss the second point. I will not discuss second point here in this slide, because in order to understand it, we have to dive into the concepts of what is covariant and what's non-covariant concept. So I will talk about this in the next lecture. So let's move forward. So what actually is a func delegate? So a func is actually, it encapsulates a method that has a parameter, or it has a return type. So in this example, I am declaring a func which it returns a string and it accepts a string argument, and the name of the func is the delegate is selector, and this str equal is this lambda expression is actually the definition of the func. So what it does is that this method takes a string argument, it returns a string, and the argument which is sent to the function will be converted into uppercase. So let's move further. So let's see how we actually can use func instead of an out keyword. So let me just open the console application which I have. So here, if you run this program, so it's pretty basic. So you can see that the result of the output of this program is that the number 2 is even, right? So fine. So let's actually try to um, replace the out keyword with a func. So what I will do here is let me just declare a func. So you can see the overloaded, it has 17 overloads. So first is that the out parameter is t result, which means that the return type, if you do not specify it anything, if you just specify like this, so this means that this is a func which returns a string. So instead of doing that, but my use case is that my func will accept return a boolean type, and it will also accept a boolean type. So let me just name the function. Let's see, return result, and assign it to a lambda expression. This is actually the definition. Here in the definition, what I will do, I will set the result. Result is a local variable equal to what is returned from the function. So what does this mean? Like this will hold actually the return value of the func delegate, and now this whatever is returned from the delegate is will be set into this variable, so that I can actually um, display it in on output, so if the number is even or odd. Now moving further, let me just um, create a function bool even odd with func. So for the sake of just naming the function, I am naming it even odd with bool. It will, the signature will be same as this, but accept the out argument. So it accepts in param. It will accept a func. So its type will be bool. Its return type and its input will be boolean. So let me name it as func. Okay, so this is just name of the function. So here I will just my logic will be the same. So this example is pretty basic, so you can use it in any complex logic. So just to simplify the concept of this, I have taken this simple example. So here what I will do, here is the magic of func. So I will actually call this function here and pass it true, and here I will call this function and actually pass false. So what actually it will do, okay, so I have to mark it as void. Now let me call this function here. I will pass num, and I will pass the callback delegate return result. So let me set the value of num here equals to 3. Now what actually it does before running this program, what I want to tell you here, like whenever this function will be called, so this delegate will be passed to this function. So here is the this statement will actually return the control to the calling function. So of when this is called, so this statement will actually be executed, so it will actually return the control to the calling function. It is similar to a yield, how the yield operator works. So it returns the call to the calling function. So here you can the value, the boolean variable, the value of the boolean variable is returned and it's assigned to this result, and it's assigned to this result, and then we can actually check what is the value of this result. So you might have a scenario wherein you want to just call a function, or you don't want to use actually an out variable to make it more professional, or or if you want to make the signature of the function more clean, so you can use the func delegate. So it's actually what it does when it calls the function, the it returns the control to the calling function, and there you can actually set a variable which is actually, or you can have a different scenario, but here I have used a simple variable because you can actually run a logic in the definition of this function, and it has a more like it's more robust than using an out keyword. The number is even. Let me just call. Okay, so let's now execute this statement. Execute this program. So here you can see that the number is 1. I have assigned a num value to 2, so the number is even. So it actually calling the old the plain out keyword. So here the out keyword works, and it says that the function returns in the out keyword the value of the out keyword, and it's true. So now, but what I did here, so this statement actually declares the function, and it defines a lambda expression for this delegate. So the next statement, I am changing the value of num to 3. So my if logic of checking this, if it is an even or odd, so as per that the result should be false. Okay, so let's now the when the execute this even odd with func. So you can see here it has passed the delegate to this func foo name. So actually a delegate has two properties like method and target, which will it's not like I will discuss it in more lectures. So here let's check that the param mod 2 is like it's not equal to 0, so which means that the number is not even. So here you can see that the control of execution is on line number 36, which means that the on the execution is the even odd with func. This method is actually now executing. So here um, in on line number 36, I am actually calling the definition of the delegate. So what it does, if you execute this, the control will be sent. The control, if you hit F11 here, see the control is returned to the calling function, and it actually executes the block on this it executes the definition of this result. So here the value of the result is set. Now the control is again returned to the calling function, is actually removed. The calling function is removed from the stack, and the called function is actually now executing. See now, if you check the value of the result, so it's false. So here I just wanted to like give you a brief introduction of how actually you can replace the out keywords with func delegates, because there can be some there can be some scenarios where actually you want to make the definition of an interface or the definition of an function more professional. So you can use func this way, or if you want some logic to be executed and simulate a yield behavior in a function, so in that case you can also use a func as an argument. So this finishes my brief overview. So please, if you have any question, please type it in the comments, or you can also send me an email, uh, which was mentioned in the first slide. Thank you. Bye.